Yeah, Dipset.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of The Brothers Perspective. And today we're reviewing Ali, directed by Michael Mann and starring Will Smith. This biopic is phenomenal. If you know anything about Muhammad Ali, it's argued that he's probably one of the greatest boxers to ever live. Even this shirt is kind of a, knockoff of his old saying, "The champ is here." And, Ali was just a pioneer in the civil rights movement. He was, a huge activist. He really cared and catered to his community, for his people, loving his people, and just an all-around amazing boxer. Just, he was cocky, he was arrogant, he was, smooth, he was courageous, he was fearless. I mean, it's just, this guy was just awe-inspiring, and, definitely one of my favorite sports figures. I even have an Ali poster in my home, so he's dope. But this film, is really taken over by Will Smith. This film, Will did a phenomenal job. The same as we cater most biopics, like Jamie Foxx as Ray, is excellent. Same thing as, Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury, excellent. Will Smith does the exact same thing. You basically do not see Will. You see Muhammad Ali through and through. I mean, he's funny, he's charismatic, he's talented, and he really carries this film. A lot of people had mixed reviews about this film when it came out in December of 2001, but it's great to say, if it wasn't for Will Smith's performance, I don't know where this film would stand. Because, he had the look, he had the accent, he had the demeanor, everything was just solid, hands down. It was phenomenal. And to really touch on this story, this biopic is, honestly, it's a little choppy. It starts and covers Ali's career from 1964, I believe, through 1974. So about a good decade, and of course, in his prime. Honestly, I would have preferred a lot more backstory. There is a specific reason why Muhammad Ali had the swagger and the bravado and the attitude that he had. Growing up, seeing, the death of Emmett Till and having to really scratch and claw for survival, really feeling out of place and not really agreeing with his education and the teachings of, modern, American religion. And it, honestly, you can see snippets of that and small flashbacks of it, but they're milliseconds. Where this film starts off, it's right at his fight with Sonny Liston, which arguably, could have really ended his career, give or take how you want to look at it. But it goes from there, and it goes, especially with him, talking and conversing with, Malcolm X, and, devoting his life to being a Muslim, and, following the nation. And it was just one of those things that, just kind of just started, and just, like, just this trip, boom, right there. No flashbacks, no takebacks. And I would have really wished to see a little more of his upbringing. We want to know a little bit more why he's so charismatic. We want to know why he's so fearless, why he's so aggressive, even at times why he was reckless, why he was so willing to give up, a family name. And I wish they just would have elaborated on that a little more. But, alongside Will Smith in this cast is John Voight, who's, shout out to the makeup crew. You barely recognize John at all. He doesn't even look like himself. Playing Sam Cassell, I believe. Jamie Foxx is great in this. So is Jada Pinkett, Nona Gay. These actors and actresses, really hold their own and make their presence felt in this film, which was great. Normally in biopics, you see a lot of people just playing background characters, and they're just there for time and placement settings, just to say, hey, this happened, and hey, such and such happened with this person. But Jamie really, sold, his character's drug addiction. Nona Gay really, sold how it was to be, the wife of, one of the most famous boxers of all time, and, really putting up with, a lot of his stubbornness, a lot of his aggression, and dealing with him during the, events of when he was drafted for the Vietnam War. And this film actually does touch heavily on that, along with the boxing scenes. It really talks about how Ali was defiant, and Will Smith does a great job. He does a great job of expressing Ali's anger, expressing Ali's passion and his dedication to his religion, and why, he was so defiant, against America. It was really, it was really a good and powerful moment to really recognize and understand why. I think that, time frame alone in this film is probably one of the best defining moments of this film. But as I say, this film covers 10 years. So it's kind of, just point A, point B, point C, point D. But some of the stuff they elaborate on is a hit or miss. I felt that Ali's defiance against the Vietnam War was very strong. The boxing in this is real. Looking at the production of this film, it is real. A lot of these, boxers that Ali fought, the actors who are playing them were actually, professional boxers, like James Toney and other heavyweights and so forth. And they were actually really instructed to go ahead and box with Smith. And it was really great. I think they were encouraged to really box with him and, really, hit and throw combinations as long as they didn't knock him out. And some of these shots, you feel, are solid. You can see the sweat, the pain and, the energy and the velocity of, a lot of these punches thrown and combinations. And it's really great to see. As far as Will Smith's boxing performance, it's stunning. He's got all of Ali's movements down. I mean, from his jab to him evading with his head, to him, kind of squaring up and letting other, Ali's opponents tire themselves out. He had everything down to the letter, and that was just simply fantastic. That was another plus in this film. But overall, I felt that this movie is really great. If I had to give it a rating, I would give it, I'm going to give it a 4 stars out of 5. And the reason why is just, because like I said, this biopic is a by the numbers biopic. It's point A, point B, point C. But, Will Smith's performance really, really, captures this movie. His relationship with Malcolm X, his relationship with the Nation of Islam, and how he is just, how he is so fearless, courageous, and defiant is awe-inspiring. It's probably one of the best biopic performances I've ever seen. As far as the story, it's choppy and it doesn't really flow well, but there are a lot of scenes where Will Smith commands that scene. He actually, takes that scene, by the throat, and you're just along for the ride. And that is fantastic to see. There are some things in the film you will not particularly care for, but anything that has Will Smith in it, you're going to be glued to the screen, honestly. So, yeah, I guess that about sums it up. So, if you like this video and more content like this from us, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow us on social media at @thebrothers_perspective on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, I believe. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KenDawg, that's spelled D-A-W-G, KenDawg DMFT. And also follow me on Facebook as Kenny Steele. And until then, we'll see you soon. Peace.
Yeah, let's do it.